Alright, so I did find a cheat code that lets me skip Castle Machinery, which was right here. So it lets me go all the way to Fumbling in the Dark, which for whatever reason also freezes. So I get to skip that and go to this. Say hello to Stormy Ascent. Yeah. And it didn't give me those fruit. What the hell? Stormy Ascent, the so-called removed level in this game is the last level of the game, which makes perfect sense with how hard it is. There is only one difference between this Stormy Ascent and the final Stormy Ascent. Those symbols are actually Cortex symbols. I have heard they still freeze the game, which is why I have not picked them up. Yeah. Other than that, this version of Stormy Ascent is exactly the same as the version you find in the final game by hacking, which was probably because they probably scrapped the level after the beta just because of how hard it was. Although it does ease my pain a little bit to know that they intended for this to be the final level of the game, which means they did know it was the hardest level. They did know that. Yeah. Something I did notice, for one, the Great Hall isn't in this beta, which makes perfect sense because there are no gems, so having the Great Hall would be entirely pointless. But there's also no Whole Hog. Whole Hog is not in this beta, which I'm probably guessing Whole Hog was probably the last level to be made. Actually, correction, Whole Hog was the last level to be made because every other level is in this beta. Except for the Great Hall. So maybe if you want to consider the Great Hall a level, then the Great Hall was the last level to be made. So yeah. Or one of the two was the last level to be made. All I'm saying is that not in this beta. Stormy Ascent is, so yeah. Alright, I'm actually going to skip that checkpoint, and I will explain why in later. Back up a little bit. Alright. My reason for skipping that checkpoint is coming up. First I'm going to get these fruit. Because these fruit will be very important probably. Alright, it's coming up right after this. If I screw... Oh, wow. I lived. This is why. Because usually, no matter what I do, I will screw that part up. And if I had grabbed that checkpoint, then I would have been at a point where I did not have any Aku Aku between that point and the point where I start. So, I didn't want to deal with that, so I figured, yeah, it's like, because that got me so many game overs during my first run through of this game, or this of like the version that you can find in the final game. So I decided, yeah, there's no gems in this version, so it doesn't matter if I skip a box, and so if I die, at least I have an Aku Aku to work with. I mean, I have to travel farther, but at least the rest of the level's easier. And actually, after that part, the level is fairly manageable. It's just that part, in my opinion, is the hardest part of the level. I'm gonna try and not die here. Jesus. Sunset Vista on crack. Just want to get to my damn checkpoint. There's the checkpoint I'm looking for. Yes, blocks. I want to be careful here. Alright, I'm on a roll now. Okay, I haven't even died yet. And the birds that don't really make sense of physics because they move horizontally. This part's a lot easier than it looks. You just kind of go. Oh, this part, I hate it. It's probably the second hardest part just because it messes with you. And I think it's this one. Yeah. Alright, I'll get that again. Oh, I'm so glad that didn't push me off. Okay, I'm reaching the end of the level. Always a good time. Yeah. Woo, yeah, I actually made it. Yeah, that's awesome. Sweetness. I just want this life for the hell of it. The only one I actually grabbed. And yeah, I actually got through Stormy Ascent without dying. That makes it even more awesome. I got through Stormy Ascent without dying again. Amazing. Alright, so next part is the guaranteed last part. It's Dr. Neocortex. So can't really get past that. There's nothing else. So see you for that.